Alright folks, hope y'all are all having a good day. Here's what's going on. I don't know if y'all may have this problem before, but here's an issue that somebody we know run across on this truck. It hardly fits in this part of the shop, but anywho, 2012 F-150 Platinum, so quite fancy, with the EcoBoost. Anyway, he texted me, said he had this problem with his truck, and so one of the problems is the truck thinks that this door is open all the time. And we went and looked at this truck yesterday, but William had already figured out the problem with it before we got there, which is completely okay with me. But anywho, here's what happened to it. He take this boot off, and the wires back behind here are broken in half, so it's no longer making connection with the switch or whatever. Tells it that the door's closed, so it thinks the door is open all the time. But I'll show you the issue. There we go. Alright, I was just being a wuss for a minute. Alright, so then this wiring piece comes out, but you don't have to pull it out any further than this. And you take this rubber boot here, and you pull it off this plastic connector thing. And you pull that back, and here we have two wires that are completely disconnected. That purple wire and that green wire, completely broken in half. That's too much light. Anyway, completely broke in half. So, and then let's see, two other wires are about to break. So we're gonna fix all of this. We're just gonna solder it back together, and hopefully none of the rest of the wires break. But you probably can buy a new wiring harness, but I'd imagine that would cost a pretty penny. So we're just gonna solder this stuff back together and make it look real nice and neat. Got all the wires soldered back together. If it'll focus, this light's too bright, but got all the wires soldered back together. All I'm gonna do now, put a little bit of electrical tape back together, and then just put everything back like it goes. You sure this wasn't cutting on it? Yes, I'm sure. Okay. But anyway, I'm just gonna tape that up, put it all back together, and this door should know that this door is closed now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and never mind, Lane's gonna fix the coolant leak first.
Yeah.
Lane's gonna fix the coolant leak
I'm draining the
first.
coolant right now, so then I can fix the coolant leak.
Alright folks, we're back. The O-ring we tried to replace that hose with, or the O-ring we tried to replace the old one with, it still leaks, so we'll have to find an O-ring for that. Or hopefully we can find an O-ring for that. If we can't, we'll have to get a new hose. So it is leaking a little bit of coolant down there, but we pressurized the system, and I got to looking under the truck, and it was puddling up water right there. I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. It's all wet around this sway bar mount, and I got to looking, and it's leaking coolant up under their turbo. So we have to replace the fittings on the turbo where the coolant lines hook up to it, and that's on both sides. I watched a video on it. You have to take the turbos out to do the job. So to do that, you just take the wheel off, take the wheel well out, and then you can pretty much just see the turbo. It's right there anyway. Turbo's right there. So Lane just got off the phone with the Ford man. And are they ordering the parts, or do they have the parts?
They got them all in stock.
They have all the parts in stock, so we'll probably go get those very soon and probably start working on it today. I don't know if we finish it today, but we'll at least start on it. Yep, be back later. Alright, we are back from the Ford dealership and Zaxby's, of course. But here's all the parts we got. We've got the exhaust manifold to the turbocharger gaskets. So we got two of those because both sides leak. And then here's the oil drain gasket seals. We got 2 of those also. And then the actual, the little, whatever you call these things, these little couplers that are the pieces that leak. On the turbos, this is the part number for the quick connectors on the turbos. The ones on the engine are different, but these are the ones for the turbos, and there's 2 per turbo. So with this being a twin turbo engine, we got 4 of these. So that should be all the parts we need to complete it. Mark's jacking it up, and we're gonna take the front tires off of it and get to work. So yeah, let's get on with it.
Yep. Finally got one turbo out. It was an absolute pain in the butt.
We're gonna get it done. Not today though. Are we?
It'd be nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's sure leaking. These things are crap. Look at this nasty thing. But that's what was leaking.
Look, there's a little O-ring down in there.
Yeah, it's like gone.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
So there's a new shiny one. Isn't it pretty?
So these things, the hoses are just supposed to press in there, right?
Yeah, it just pushes right in there and locks.
So this,
and there's 2 per turbo.
Right
There's
here.
The one on top, and then there's one that right there.
And you just snug them down because it's just an O-ring.
Oh wait, that's the top one. This is the side one.
The side one is the one that was leaking all over the place.
Okay.
The top one might not have been leaking, but we're already right here, so we're going to replace it.
We're recording upside down. There you go.
That was easy.
The Cobalt got it. XTR Cobalt got it. Yeah, this one's not as bad, but that O-ring is completely flat. That O-ring does not protrude at all. So that one is on its way to leaking also. If it didn't already. That's kind of crappy though that they're already leaking after 130 something thousand miles.
Why? This may not have anything to do with miles. It could just be age.
Yeah. 2012 truck. And also they are on a hot turbo. That turbo gets really hot. So I mean,
well, theoretically it doesn't.
Well, yeah, that's what the coolant's for. It's, you know, it still gets pretty hot. So maybe that's why those things go bad, just because they get so hot.
All right. Next out, let's put the turbo back in yonder.
Is it heavy, Mark?
Not really. We got this turbo back in. It's way easier to do this stuff with help, so if you ever do it yourself, get help, please.
If you ever do it yourself, don't do it yourself.
Anywho,
unless you got plenty of patience.
We got the turbo all back in here, got the exhaust hooked up, got the turbo hooked up to the manifold, got the mounting bolt to the engine done, got all the coolant lines hooked up, all these air lines hooked up. You got the
top one clipped in place real good?
Yes, it's in there.
Alright.
I heard it click. So there's that. That turbo's in. All we gotta do is put the wheel well liner back in, and this side is done.
Alright.
So
well, you time-lapse this side, right, Mark?
Yes.
We might go into a little more detail on the other side, possibly, or a time-lapse, but either way, we're going to get this back together and get started on the other side. Alright, we are set up to do the other side. Got all our tools set up for this side. This side, over here,
This side's back together. Got the fender liner back in. So next, we've got to take this fender liner off. We've already got the tire off. If you have to watch a video on how to take the tire off, don't do this by yourself. Like, don't even bother trying to fix what we're doing by yourself. So we have this push pin here. This is like the internal. There's a small pin inside the big pin kind of thing. Oh, did you grab those things from on top of the door?
Yep, I did. So
there's one pin. Two, and there's a push pin right up here.
That one right there.
There you go.
No, it's
you
not
just
what I
have to
was
work them.
All right.
Yeah. All right, there's that.
Hold up.
That's all the push pins, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Except for there's one under there.
Yeah, there's a push pin right there, right here, that we got to take out, and then push those wiring connectors through, like he's doing there, right there.
Oh,
that one may already be. Yeah, there you go.
So 2 screws, or yeah, they are screws. I wouldn't consider that a bolt.
Yeah, that's a
wood
screw.
threads. There's one right there. All right. Now push pin up under here,
Yep.
so we can move this flare. Now we just work the fender well out away from here. Everything's out.
Yep.
Oh gosh, my hands. Ow!
He just smashed his hand. There. Hey, it's coming. There you go.
And it may sound rough, but I'm not putting much force on
No.
the plastic.
It's just plastic to plastic rubbing around, so it just makes a lot of racket. There's the fender liner.
We got this wire connector here. Pop this clippy thing out. And don't put that somewhere where you won't lose it.
And you just push it off there.
Yep. So then that comes off. And you can just leave it like that. Then this whole thing here pulls straight off. You just work it left and right. It'll pull straight off of there. It just rides on like a, well shoot, I don't know what you'd call it. But
It's like just a piece of metal.
it just slides over this piece of metal.
Yeah. Alright, so what are you doing now?
Pop this hose loose here.
From
This
the
hose.
wastegate. That is the wastegate, so.
Oh, I need a heat gun. Heating up this little hose so it'll pop loose real easy.
Yeah, because that rubber will get hard over the years.
Maybe it won't pop loose easy, but
There you go. There you go. He's getting it off.
all right, that hose is loose.
There, he's got
And
that.
then another hose, I already took the clamp loose. The other hose goes down there. I took the little clamp loose. Just have to slide that one off.
What are those? Those are boost reference hoses?
Yep. That's all they are.
Alright. And before you do any of this, I'd highly recommend spraying all these exhaust bolts with either PB Blaster or WD-40, whatever you have. In our case, we just have PB Blaster. Just spray all your exhaust connections.
All right, I got that
Exhaust
hose
bolts
loose.
with that.
And this hose here, I just push it up in here, out of the way. And then there's one more hose right there on the wastegate actuator. I'm gonna heat that one up too, because it's really hard. It's really hard.
Alright, I'm starting to take the exhaust bolts loose. I don't know if you can see up in there, but I got a deep well 15mm socket, a universal, and then just 2 long extensions. I'm gonna I was gonna try and work it off there. Doesn't look like it wants to go. Alright, these things are crazy tight. If I had an impact extension this long, it probably would come loose, but I don't, so I'm going to try and use a ratchet and get it loose. Alright, I got both the exhaust bolts loose, so now that can slide back, which the O2 sensor won't allow it to slide back all the way.
You took my seat.
I know. Next, I feel like you might have to take the starter off to get to the bolt that holds the turbo to the engine.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to have to look. I don't know if this is necessary, but I think I'm going to do it. But I'm going to take the starter off with these two bolts right here. This bolt and that bolt right there. Looks like they're probably 14 millimeter, a 10 millimeter here, and then two 14s. And the starter should come right off. Alright, I took this 10 millimeter nut off here that holds this bracket on. Now I need to take these two bolts out, which are 13 millimeter. Alright, I got the starter taken off. I got it set down there to the side. When you do it, be sure you have the battery disconnected, because I accidentally arced it a little bit, which it won't hurt anything. But next, we are now to the turbo. Next, I'm going to take these two bolts out of this bottom. Is that okay if I do that right now, Mark?
Do what?
Take these two bottom bolts loose.
I don't care.
Is it gonna make a mess?
What?
Will a mess happen?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take these two bolts out and have a bucket underneath just in case stuff starts going everywhere. Alright, I've got these two bolts loose from this oil line. And then up in there, the coolant connector, I took the little clip out with a pick. So now I'm going to take the bolt loose right up there. I don't know if you can see it. That bolt right there. It's a 13 millimeter. I'm going to try this ratchet wrench and take that bolt out. And then it's all up to Mark after that. There we go.
Give me some pliers.
Pluck it up underneath it.
I don't know. Let me see it.
So there's that line loose. What do you do with this one? Just like,
It should pivot.
oh, I see. Alright, that'll, might be enough room. Maybe. Alright, so I got this line loose. You just swivel it up out of the way so you can get to everything. Is that it? Now just take these three bolts out?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next I'm going to take these three bolts out and we'll be able to yank it out. There's one. There's... There's two. Alright, last one. The turbo, does it just fall when you take the last one out?
I doubt it.
It just falls out of there. Oops, wrong way. I need to get hands on it. I got it. No, it's good. Here. Alright. Set that in your tray. Alright, now let's yank this bad boy out of there. Out of there. Is your coolant line loose? No. There you go. Turbo is out now, right? So now replace those just like the last one. This is a 19 millimeter. Hold the turbo. $19mm. So we'll replace both of these, and then we'll do all those steps in reverse. My battery is about dead, and this is the last battery I have. So I'm gonna cut it here, and we'll get back to y'all when this thing is completely back together. All right, everyone, we got this side put back together. It was way easier than that side, I guess, because I wasn't here for the other side.
I didn't have any help.
Yeah, Mark didn't have any help on the other side. They said he was raging the whole time. But this side was honestly a breeze. In my opinion, I was doing everything underneath it. Seemed like a breeze to me.
No, that was easy.
We put everything back together, and then also there's the leak on top next to the reservoir. I went to Napa. Here's the old O-ring. I went to Napa, and they didn't have like this exact O-ring, but they had some big fat O-rings that were like the same size. And I got one of those. Okay, the GoPro is completely kaput. All the batteries are dead.
Still got 30%.
I know, it's weird. It's got 30% battery, but it keeps turning off when I record. But anyways, like I was saying, when the GoPro started goofing, I replaced this O-ring. I found one at Napa very similar for 74 cents. Put it on there, and we used a pressure tester thing that it pressurizes the coolant system to basically test for leaks, and it tested good, so there's no more leaks. So we are good to go. We're gonna back this thing out, clean all the coolant that we spilled out from under it with the pressure washer, and then we'll be done with this thing. So this is the end of this video. If y'all enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. If it helped y'all, leave a like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below, and if we can answer them, we'll try to answer them. But anyways, yeah, please leave a like and subscribe, and we will catch y'all on the next one. See ya.